Watch these short clips.
Come on, homie. But a selfish woman is saying, well, what do you mean you have to take? Love is about give and take. The one who takes the most seems to love the most.
So they think love is self-sacrifice. How much abuse you can take. Lying, manipulating, right? How much can you take of that? What was the point of bringing up children lying and manipulating and connecting that to love? What was the point of bringing up children lying and manipulating to connect that to love?
Is what make hoes logical and rational.
You hear this? You hear this dodo bird mess? He say calm is what make you logical and rational. Boy, this nigga get up here and say anything. When I say anything, I mean anything.
Keeps their pH balance together. Bitch ain't getting no male calm. It ain't nothing she can do to get her pH balance off. That's why that hoe so fucked up.
Wait a minute, what? Negro, what? Hold on, play that again. Nigga, what?
But bitch ain't getting no male calm. It ain't nothing she can do to get her pH balance off. That's why that hoe so fucked up. The average nigga, if he cheat on this woman, he go eat a whole pussy, suck a whole ass, fuck her the same way he fuck his woman, treat her just like this his girlfriend.
Loser.
And this is a bitch he can't remember her name.
Now when I tell you this, I'm just hurt. Now when I say this, I'm just hurt and bitter. But he can say it and the men just bow down and be like, yeah, Charleston the man. Why are y'all listening to men? They speak with forked tongues. They're the authors of confusion.
That was just wow. Shout out to Priscilla for having the stomach to listen to that horse manure the entire time and break down all of the foolishness that was spat out of this man's mouth. But you know what, guys? The one thing I want you all to understand is that you don't ignore men like this. And the reason why you don't ignore men like this is because they have an audience. And that audience, for the most part, agrees with them. Now, what's funny is men will say that you are men bashing, right? When you talk about their behaviors in terms of being degenerate and harmful to women, right? But as soon as someone jams a mic down their esophagus, they are like a tell-all book, okay? Remember in the hood, they used to say snitches get stitches? No, baby. They snitching and telling everything and putting the degeneracy on full display for the world to comment on. How in the hell can a man get on a national podcast that is circulated throughout the internet, tell of the male's mind of his cheating and abuse and how he equates love to self-sacrifice? Then he goes on to say that a man will never, ever make the sacrifices for a black woman the way he expects her to sacrifice for him.
Huh?
The unmitigated gall and audacity. And so then when Priscilla says that men do not love, they're all up in arms. But by his own definition, he equates love to self-sacrifice and then goes on to say that men in general will not do these levels of self-sacrifice they expect from women. Duh. fucking duh. They put the degeneracy on full display. Nobody asked them to tell all about the way they think, because it's embarrassing at this point, right? But they go out here and they create entire campaigns and expect nobody to be able to pick up on how completely absurd the things they are saying is. It's almost as if they are operating out of pure audacity or just completely delusional. I don't know which one. But I will tell you this. From an auntie, I am telling y'all younger women and the aunties themselves, get the hell out of Blackistan.
Yo. Sorry, man. Get out! Yo! Get out!
You better run, Forrest, run, Forrest, run. I am not kidding you. Blackistan is a mindset. It is a mindset of poverty, and not just poverty, because poverty by itself is not wicked, but it is a mindset of poverty and degeneracy and loyalty to a man of color just because he is a man of color. You heard what Charleston White said. He explicitly said that these men will have unprotected physical intimacy with women with not a care in the world, barely know the woman's name, and expect their woman to forgive them and expect their woman to stay with them. This is flagrant emotional abuse. And they want you to laugh and smile and kiki it up in poverty because that's all that they are offering. They've been protesting for the last couple of years and fighting for their lives on Beyonce Giselle Knowles' internet to convince quote unquote modern women that they should be more like traditional women. But of course, these so-called traditional modest Protestant values only benefit them because they will have a quintessential submissive modest woman out here sounding like this.
Speaking against the names Danae Jackson and Derek Jackson in mockery, accusations, slanders, and lies, may the mercies of God be withdrawn from you. May your husbands and wives become widows. Let your children become fatherless. Let your seed become vagabonds on the earth. Let the words of your mouth and your words of your hands be returned back to you. Let it go down your throat and choke you slowly until your days become few on the earth.
Shout out to Danae Jackson for letting go of that dead weight. But nonetheless, I have said over and over again that the part of the black community has a strong hold on it. And that stronghold is that the community is nestled in a pimp-archy culture. These males will say anything to dominate and conquer the mindset of a woman with no care in the world of how that behavior will psychologically affect her, as long as he can get what he needs from her. These males have somehow convinced us that we are only worthy if we have suffered enough to be loved. Men will be men regardless, but there is a special kind of degeneracy that we experience in our community. And I always say it is due to systematic oppression, but it is happening, so we can't ignore it. So if you can't move like this here, this picture up here, all right, listen to Auntie when I tell you, this is going to be your best bet here to move like this. There are too many of us searching for a Russell Wilson archetype in a community full of futures. If you are an auntie or older or have children, all hope is not lost. You can move like Miss Ma'am up here, okay? You see what I'm saying? And for the youngins, you already know. Move like Miss Harvey. Move like Lori Harvey. Move like Marjorie Harvey. You know what group you fit in, right? And what do we know about Lori? Not a damn thing. These men sit online and spend the greater part of their 15-minute lunch break trying to figure out what's going on with that woman's vagina. But we as the public know nothing. We know that she starts a relationship. We know that the relationship has ended, and we know that she's moved on to something else and she is living her life. They always talk about how youth and beauty is such a value, but think that you are not supposed to use that youth and beauty to your advantage. I call caps. Use that youth and beauty to your advantage as long as you have it. And when you get to your mature, ripe age, go ahead and pull a majority. That's absolutely correct. These men will do what's in the best interest of them with not a care in the world. So why shouldn't we? It is simply balancing the playing field, and that's what has them in a chokehold. And before I go, I am going to leave you with this and reiterate: get the hell out of Blackistan.
Queen, you thought that your version of love would change me, but in turn, it has only changed you. Your version of love has changed you from a woman of esteem, beauty, and vigor into a woman who is now bitter and too blinded by my lies to ever see or receive the truth. I hurt you on purpose because I feel I have no purpose. And since I feel that you are worthless, I see you as not being worth it. Worth me giving you my heart unbroken, although I know that you deserve it. Because I hate myself, I put you through hell. And I make it a point to remind you every day of the many ways that you are imperfect. I am dead to life and your version of love, yet you keep trying to raise me. Foolishly thinking that your God is going to save me. Religiously thinking that your prayers are going to change me when I see no need in changing. I often wonder why you do not hate me and why you feel as though you cannot escape me. But then I am reminded of the moment when you let me in and simultaneously you became me. And as wicked as I am, you, my sweet, are just as evil. You see, you hate you just as much as I hate me. So in essence, we are equals. That monster of ugliness you have become is from everything that we have been through. Indeed, I see it and I feed it because I am the one who put it in you. I find delight in your feelings of inadequacy because successfully I am the cause of you feeling less than. I sit back with laughter as I watch you painfully bear the burden of everything that you are stressed with. I often wonder why... I can remember the moment when you let me in and allowed me to destroy everything that you were blessed with. You will never leave me. But indeed, I will leave you, and when I do, misery is all that you will be left with. I promise you this. I am honest with this. I will never love you no matter how much I try to pretend. When I am nice to you, internally I am despising you because you celebrate pain every time you refuse to recognize this truth. Truth being that I will use you until I get desperately sick and tired of you. I could spit in your face, piss on your grave, and you would still look at me and wish that I changed. I can abuse you, bruise you, ignore you like I never knew you, only for you to look at me with sorrow in your eyes because your feelings remain. You should feel pitiful and ashamed. You are not strong, you are weak to me, insignificant and obsolete to me. You are as fragile as sand, and when the rain comes, I will stand back and watch just how quickly you sink for me. Why is it that with such a high regard you think of me, and you reach for me, and you plead for me? There is not a king in me, no matter how much you try to convince yourself that one can be seen in me. Leave me, I implore you, because eventually I'm going to do nothing but destroy you. I'm going to take your life, your pride, your smile, your shine, your virtue, and your joy too. I'm going to get worse as our time increases, and during the moment when you are at your weakest, I'm going to do something to drastically hurt you before I leave you where you weep in pieces. Please stop telling yourself it will get better, because it will not. And I will experience this cynical pleasure each time I watch you cry. Yes, I began by addressing you as queen because I do see her, but you do not care about her, so why should I? This pointless thing we have is not real to me. What is it that you feel for me? I have beaten you down to your lowest point and you are still with me. Why? I disrespect you because I am bored. I use your body in ways that make you feel like a whore. I have done so many obviously hurtful things to push you away, and you always come back for more. I've grown comfortable with abusing you, apologizing, and then abusing you again. I've made you feel so much shame that you alienate yourself from your family and your friends. Masterfully, I've made you think that no other man will ever want you, and that powerful faith you once had now comes back in pitiful, sporadic moments. Honestly, the only time that I kinda like you is when I'm able to look down on you when you are feeling the most regretful and hopeless. But you will regard these words as me just venting and remain in this bondage, blind with eyes wide open. Please know, it is my goal to extinguish the last bit of light you have, which is your soul. And then I will go once I know that you are completely broken. Sincerely, the man you think your love is going to change. Thank you.